Hey guys, today I have a friend over to visit me while I'm doing my book review, and I'm going to tell you everything about him. Come on in, Icy. Hey, don't be shy. This is Icy the Snowman. He is a China snowman, not a Chinese snowman, guys. He lives in this bowl. A China bowl, not a Chinese bowl. And you know who else is China? Edward. Tulane is made out of China. No, not the Chinese, that like ni hao, not that, not anything like that, not the huge country that makes everything in America. China is actually a plate that you use to put food. They use China to make porcelain and teacups and plates and all that stuff. That's what Edward Tulane is. He's actually 3 feet tall, pretty well dressed for a China rabbit. Oh my god, I almost said Chinese. Okay, and I have to tell you a little about the author. So first, happy things, then sad things. Actually, let's switch the order. So the author, Kate DiCamillo. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you are the best writer. I think Kate is my favorite writer. Actually, she's my favorite author. I've read a lot of books by her, and some of the books are The Tale of Desperado, The Tiger Rising, wonderful book by the way. It actually won like the National Book Award or something like that. I remember. And because of Dinwiddie, this and a bunch of other books, and they're all Newbery medals, and that's pretty amazing. And you know what's even more amazing? Kate DiCamillo has gone through severe pneumonia. And if you don't know what that is, it's like a lung disease kind of thing, and it makes your life really hard and stuff, And it's amazing how she overcame that and wrote all these wonderful books. She's like a born to be female version of Einstein. Except Einstein didn't have pneumonia. They didn't know what it was when he was born. The genre is adventure, myth, and fantasy. And obviously it's kind of myth and fantasy if you just talk about like a walking China rabbit dressed in a suit. You can kind of get fancy from that. Then here's the confusing part. Don't get tricked. The setting is on Egypt Street. So you know how you have like Royce Road and all those streets? This is an Egypt Street. Not in Egypt, not pyramids, not the Pyramid of Giza. I've always wanted to be there. And the second setting is in Abeline's room. And Abeline is a 10-year-old girl who got Edward Tulane, the China rabbit, for her birthday. And Edward Tulane was actually a present for her, and she loves and cares for Edward Tulane because she's like, oh yeah, I like him. I think he's about her height when she was 10. But however, Edward Tulane is a cold-hearted, kind of bad rabbit who doesn't care at all for Abeline. And then the third setting, which is probably the most important one, is the doll shelf, where Abeline finds Edward Tulane and buys him in the doll store a few years later. And I'm going to tell you a little about the third setting when I get into the plot, and here's when it comes in. So what happened was, I told you, Edward Tulane was Abeline's friend, I guess, and Edward didn't care for her. Abeline loved him so much as like a, pet, friend, that kind of zone, you know what I'm talking about now? Okay, and what happened was, in a trip, Edward Tulane fell out of her grip, and so he has been trapped in the seas, the oceans, for 297 days. Good thing he can't breathe because he's not alive technically. And what happened was, after 297 days of suffering in the water, doing nothing, just like this. That's boring. I can't even do that for 5 seconds, I'm telling you, I can't. After that, a fisherman found him, and that's where Edward Tulane's journey started. Fisherman to hobo to a girl with pneumonia. There, stop, right there, stop tape. girl with pneumonia, and her brother. That's important. You know why? Remember how I said the author, Kate DiCamillo, had pneumonia? I think that's why she was one of the characters in this book. I might be wrong, but I'm probably right. And what happens is, as he goes around, he meets good people, he meets some bad people. The first person he met was a fisherman and his wife. They treated him very nicely. Some people treated him horribly. And eventually what happened was he got cruelly broken on a table edge. And because his Chinese breaks easily, like I see right here. And but then he gets repaired. And they stick glue and stuff, and that's where he is put in a doll shop. And that is where Adeline finds him a few years later with a daughter of her own. So, see, 10 years and you marry about, I don't know, 23, 4, actually that's pretty young. So more than 15 years later, he found it. So, this is, at first I was very confused because this is pretty thin for 15 years, you know. So that was very, very emotional because as Edward Tulane went through his journey, his miraculous journey, with all those people and reality and how real life is, not everyone cares for you, not everyone likes you, some people hate you, some people bully you, you know. As he experienced that, he has learned to finally love and care for others. So when Adeline brought him back from the doll shop, he was very happy to have her back as his owner because she loved him so much. She was the one who cared most. They had history together, even though Edward didn't care for her. She did. And they were kind of united. And time for the themes. Most important part, I think. So one was when I said reality. In real life, in real life, there we go. In real life, not everyone likes you. You know, sometimes, I get bullied, sometimes my friends get bullied, even the bullies get bullied, and not everyone likes you. Even if you're like the popular actor in Korea, like Kim Soo-yeon, like there's still people who don't like him. You see people who like him and don't like him. That's reality. Not everyone can like one person. They have different perspectives. That's why there's a phrase called try to be in their other shoes, not literally fit in their shoes. And that's one theme. The second theme is the importance of love. So Edward Tulane is a childish. He's immature. He doesn't know what love is. He just he's spoiled. He's a spoiled bad rabbit. Bad rabbit. Smack, 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 smack your butt. I didn't touch the tail, Edward. And so Edward doesn't know what love is. He's too spoiled. He has experienced so much love that he doesn't even care. He's like, oh, I'm getting enough of this. This is this is what everyone will give me, because he's used to that. But that's why spoiled people are bad, because once you go out in the real world, once you're not spoiled anymore and everyone loves you, then you're gonna have a real hard time when everyone starts everyone starts being mean to you and bullying you. You're gonna have a hard time. That's why importance of love is important. You need to not you, but generally, everyone needs to they need to consider love a precious thing. It's very precious, and not all people get it. Some people don't even have it once in their life. Maybe it's just mistaken pride or something like that. Love is very important, and that is the second theme. The third theme is hope and loss. Those are very strange. Those are very different words, antonyms, And let's start with loss. So Edward Tulane has lost so much from the beginning to the end of the book. He was in the ocean for 297 days when a fisherman finally found him. People just threw him everywhere. He got his head broken on a piece of table, and he had a hard time. That's his loss. However, Edward Tulane, even though he was a mean and a bad rabbit, he always had hope. he always had hope that someone would finally come and get him, and he hoped that person was Abilene. And hope and loss is a very important theme. I really think that this book it's not like the others. I really think that this is my favorite book of all times. And one more thing to say. For all you K-dramas out there, K-drama lovers, I'm pretty sure you've watched My Love from Another Star, 별에서 온 그대. And you all know Kim Soo-yeon. Yeah, he reads in Korean version. It's like 에드워드 툴레인의 신기한 여행. And I need to show you my lock screen. Kim Soo-yeon. Yeah, I like him too. You know, he's a good actor. You know, he came out of the very good university. But enough talking about celebrities. Let's get back to the book. So the important thing is that I didn't read the book after I watched the drama. I actually read this book, I don't know, 1-2 years ago, and I just decided to pick up the book and read it again because I just remember it so much. It's clear in my mind. It's so good book. And that's why I didn't watch it because of K-drama, you know. And one last important thing to say. Here's the most important quote in this book. It's, if you have no intention of loving or being loved, then the whole journey is pointless. Very emotional, very heartfelt. So I really kept that to mind. I'm like, wow, if you don't have intention of loving or being loved, well, I have intention of loving, you know, and I have intention of being loved, you know, my family, my friends. I wouldn't say I love all my friends. You know, I have enemies too. I'm pretty sure all of you have some enemies, and I really think that quote is wonderful. It's very moving. It's very true. If you don't want to be loved, if you don't want to be loved and love each other, then there's no point in going through all that. Like, let's say you study to become a doctor, but then your family worries about you. They're like, oh no, you should get some rest, you should eat a proper meal and stuff. But you don't care what they say. You just ignore them, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, let's say you get pneumonia like Kate DiCamillo. Still working on that. You never know what could happen. So that's why you need to care and love for others in case something horrible and disastrous like that happens to you. There's a lot of things about this book that I can't even say. People think that this is a grade level 5, 6 book. They're like, oh, this is easy. It's like big words. Look. And there's a lot of pages, but the words are like this big. But yeah, none of the words are hard. There's no hard vocabulary in there. It's just like stuff, things. Everyone can understand it. But the hard thing about this book, the thing that makes it so that even Confucius can read this and it'll still be wise for him. Confucius is very wise, by the way. He's actually Chinese. That's Chinese. And so this book is wonderful. I highly suggest you to read it, not because of the dramas or anything like that, because this is actually a very wonderful book. If you don't read it, you might not get all the themes that you get from the other books. I once again highly suggest this book. I once again say that Kate DiCamillo is a great author, genius, female Einstein. Read this book.